Okay, so number one thing I already did is prime my eyelids, and then I did my eyebrows. So the first shade I'm going to be taking is Burnt Orange, and I'm going to use this as my transition shade, and I'm going to start it off like on the outer part of the crease and the outer V, and then with whatever's left over, I just like to drag it in. I'm just going to be buffing this back and forth. So the next shade I'm going to take is the shade Real Gar, and it's this beautiful burnt rusty orange. It's so gorgeous. I love it. And I'm going to be using my Morphe M505 brush to blend it in the outer V, and I'm not going to be bringing my eyeshadows all the way to the inner part of the lid or the crease. I want that part to be very bright and just, you know, I want it to stand out a lot. So I'm just going to be smoking everything on the outer V and like the middle half. And then everything after that, I'm just going to leave blank. I feel like this is such a pretty way to do a smoky eye. Like, that's what I've been loving lately. So, yeah, don't bring it in the inner corner. Normally I would, but for this look, I feel like it just looks so much prettier if we leave the inner part blank. Following that, I'm going to take the shade Love Letter. It's so funny because when I first saw this palette, I was like, you know what? I love the palette. It looks good, but the two pink shades, Love Letter and Venetian Red, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna use those that much. I'm not a big like pink person because I feel like sometimes pink could like make you look a little tired, but these shades are like pink, but they're kind of like berry pink colors, and that's why I'm obsessed with them. I ended up like loving them so much more than I thought I would, and they're so pigmented. Like, just look at how it just adds so much contrast to the look. It's just so gorgeous. So following that, I'm taking Red Ochre. This is another beautiful shade, and just stacking this on top of that, blending a lot. I tried to show a lot of the blending process on this video so you guys can see, you know, more of what I did. So I'm going to go back with the E40 blending brush from Sigma and taking a little bit more of Burnt Orange. I'm going to be making sure there's no harsh lines and bringing it up in the crease a little bit. I want that burnt orangey shade to show a little more. And then I went back with the 505 brush and added a little bit more of the Love Letter shade. Right now I'm just pretty much packing more color on and blending and packing. So then I took pink shade and then I took more of the Red Ochre shade and then blended a little bit more of that. So just took more of the shades and blended a little more. It's better to add slowly than to add a crap load of eyeshadow first. Then it's really hard to blend. Especially with these, if you add too much, like, you got to do more blending because they're very pigmented. Blending is very easy with these though, because I mean, they're just so blendable. So again, that's me taking the E40 and blending. Then I'm going to be taking the shade Cypress Umber, and it's a nice dark mocha shade, and with the brush that came with the palette, I'm just going to be putting it in the outer V just a little bit, not too much, and then blending it with my M505 brush from Morphe. Make sure there's no harsh lines. For my brow highlight, I'm going to be using the shade Vermeer, and I'm also going to be putting this shade in the inner part of my lid and in the inner corner to really brighten up and just make it look nice and shimmery. So now I'm going to create a fierce ass wing. One of the wings did look a little jaggy, but don't you guys mind that. This is my first time using this liquid liner, so I felt like it was easy to use, but at the same time, like, I'm just not used to using liquid liners, so it's always a little challenge for me because I feel like with liquid liners, if you're not careful and you accidentally like touch out of your line, like, you're screwed, you know. So I tried and I did have a little bit of a struggle with it, but I love the fact that the little brush is like very fine at the end, so you could do a really sharp wing if you wanted to. This eyeliner is also very pigmented and very dark. It is also waterproof. It is very hard to come off as well. You have to use like a really good makeup remover. I just use my Mary Kay one and it's really easy to remove, but like when you're applying it, you better hurry up because if it dries out, it's gonna be really hard to come off, like if you mess up. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And yeah, anyways, I just showed you guys one of the wings that I did, and then sorry I didn't really show the whole process because it's so hard for me to do my liner on camera, but when I got off camera I did thicken this wing a little bit more, and then I did my other one. I do wish this liner dried matte, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't dry matte because of the fact that it is waterproof, so it's alright. So then I'm going to apply a couple layers of the Falsies Push Up Drama Mascara. Then I'm going to move on to the face. I'm going to use the Nivea Post Shave Balm for sensitive skin. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I don't find a big difference that this does for like the longevity of my foundation, or I mean what people claim it to be. I don't really see it that much. There's a lot of times that I even forget to wear this primer, this Post Shave Balm, because I don't know, I just feel like my foundation still wears the same way even when I don't wear it, and I just don't see the big hype about it. I know there's girls though that it's like their holy grail, they love it, they're obsessed with it, but to me, I don't find a big difference. The only reason why I still wear it though is because I do love that tacky feeling it gives on my face, and it kind of feels hydrating in a way. And I do feel like my foundation kind of sticks to it, but throughout the day I just don't see the big picture. Like, I'm not bashing it or anything. If you love it, like, that's great, but to me, I just don't see a big difference, and that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm using the Pro Glow foundation from L'Oreal, by the way, in the shade 208 Buff Beige, and I'm using my Real Technique sponge to blend this on the face. But yeah, I also shave my face all the time, so I do like using the Post Shave Balm after I shave my face too. It does feel really nicely on the face. But now I'm moving on to concealer. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Light. And I'm going to be using the highlighting pen from the Lumi highlighting pen from L'Oreal in the shade Light as well on top of it to give that extra highlight and that extra pop under my eyes. I just love the way it looks. And I'm also going to be blending this with my Real Technique sponge. To set my concealer, I'm going to be using the RCMA translucent powder, and with my Real Technique sponge, I'm going to be baking under the eyes and also baking on my T-zone area, especially my nose, because it gets really oily, and for some reason I just feel like every foundation that I use, except my Estee Lauder Double Wear foundation, they kind of just tend to slide off my nose, and that's why I just like to freaking cake on that powder on my nose, because it does tend to help like the longevity of my foundation. So after that, I'm going to be contouring my face with this ABH contour kit. I'm going to be using the shades Fawn and Havana, and with this small tapered blush brush from e.l.f., I'm going to be chiseling out the cheekbones, contouring my forehead, the jawline, and under my chin a little bit. Not under my chin, under my bottom lip. To bronze up my face a little bit more and just to add more warmth to my face, I'm going to be taking a little bit of that Hoola bronzer, whatever is left from it. This Hoola bronzer is so beat up, but I love to use my products till I like completely run out of them. So yeah, just applying that on the forehead and just all the areas where I contoured. Then I'm going to be adding blush. I'm going to use this palette from Becca and Jaclyn Hill, the collaboration they did. I'm still using this palette. I know it's limited edition, but it's still in stores, so that's why I'm using it. And yeah, just applying those two shades on the apples of my cheeks and taking it back, and then taking the shade Champagne Pop, which is so gorgeous. It's definitely one of my favorite highlights ever. It's just so pretty, and I used my Morphe 510 brush to apply that. Now moving on to the under eyes, I'm going to be taking the darker brown shade, and with this Mary Kay brow brush, I'm going to be just applying it really close to the lash line, and then taking those two other shades and smoking them under there with this little pencil brush. It's like a crease brush from 6+ Brushes. This is like my new favorite brush to blend out my lower lash line, because I've been loving like that more smokier look, and this really smokes it out really nicely. But yeah, I really took my time and blended and blended and blended and smoked out that lower lash line, because like I said, I've just been loving that like smokier look, and especially for this makeup look, I wanted it to look more intense. Then I took a little bit of the Love Letter shade and added a little bit more of that. These colors tend to look the same kind of, but they do still look really pretty when you blend them all together. It gives a really pretty gradient effect. So then I took my Maybelline, oh my god, can I talk? I took my Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner and then applied that on my waterline and then kind of just blended out that liner so it doesn't look harsh. It looks nice and blended with the shadows. And then taking this pretty highlighting shade, I'm going to apply it in the inner corner and in the inner part of my lower lash line as well, just to add more brightness. And then finishing it off with the Maybelline mascara, Push Up Drama mascara. And I'm going to be applying the 163 lashes from Ardell. These lashes are beautiful. I love them. I swear I have used this same pair like so many times. I probably have to throw them away already, but I don't know. I just can't stop wearing them. They're so pretty. They're the only pair I have left. The last time I went to the store to buy some, I didn't find any, so that's why I'm still wearing these. This is like my 7th time using them, no lie, and they are still going strong. Anyways, I used my Duo Adhesive Glue, the dark tone shade. I like that shade because it does dry darker and it doesn't dry clear and shiny like the other one does. So last but not least, here I'm applying my lipstick. I'm using the liquid lipstick from ColourPop in the shade Trap. Oh my god, let's just talk about how gorgeous this shade is. I have not put this lipstick down ever since I got it. It's just like that perfect cool tone nude, and like it goes so well with like berry makeup looks like this one that I did. Anyways, after that, this makeup look is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys like it. And I just hope I give you inspiration to use the ABH palette because it's so gorgeous. I love it. Look at that. Yes, girl. Yes. Work. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.